I did mine extra gay.
Yeah, which is great because it's Preside. Welcome to Sunday in the Heights with Dolly, the music theater history podcast. Learn about all the disgusting stories behind all your favorite musicals.
Today's episode is especially filthy, so...
Now, Caitlin, you're going to do Kiss Me Kate today, right?
I am indeed.
So I watched that movie last night with Kevin. This is on the list of shows that somehow, my card should be taken away because I've never seen it.
Oh, wow. Like no live production? Did you attend a high school or middle school?
Well, I went to an art school, so we did more crazier stuff.
Like Blood Brothers.
Like Blood Brothers. Did I tell you that?
No, did you really?
We did. There's shoes upon the table. I talked about it in one episode.
Yeah, but you didn't say that y'all did it in high school. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah. My friend Eddie, who went on to be in Wicked, was one of the twins. But I think he's a redhead and he played it with a boy that was Latin. So it was kind of like theater.
Oh, I see. Suspension of disbelief. Got it. I like that.
Well,
I appreciate that colorblind progressive casting of your...
At least with the hair. But it's on the list with other things like, what's the one? A Fiddler on the Roof. Somehow I have never seen Fiddler on the Roof.
Girl, I've seen some rough. Again, I feel like you've really sidestepped a lot of shitty, overdone in high school shows.
That's why I said I kept thinking I'm gonna get forced to see this show someday. I don't need to seek it out. But
this is like a improv show. You're like, somebody's gonna fucking drag me to this. I don't need to go on my own accord.
And yet, when I did shows at the Jewish Community Center, we did Hair, which we're talking about in the next episode, and Starmites, if you've ever heard of Starmites. Oh,
I know Starmites.
You do?
I do. I know it from, I feel like I did a song or it was there's a great 16 bar from this. Or I know that, its existence.
From the time where you refused to have the same 16 bar as anyone else, right?
Yeah, it was let me go into the trunk and find what was a song that Cole Porter, who I'll be talking about today, was taking a shit. He wrote down 4 measures of, and then he was like, this is awful. And I was like, give me that. So no other bitch could ever say why did we do that? Why was that a thing?
This was cut from and then re-added into him taking a shit.
Yes, exactly. He bird dogged, came back. Cool.
So now I've seen Kiss Me Kate.
Ooh.
It's kind of pretty brilliant, but let's just talk for a second about Ann Miller and what a crazy lady she is.
Well, not only crazy. Okay, so there's so many. I have some great quotes from Ann Miller. Because what I wish you had and wish I had, ponied up for the DVD of, I genuinely considered buying a 3D TV and then this DVD so that I could get the behind the scenes making of the film.
Oh, that's right, because it's 3D.
Did. It was the first. Okay,
and that's why they keep throwing shit at the screen.
Yes. I'll get to that. She's amazing. But also, she's crazy. Also, so crazy talented. Crazy. Well, obviously, hot take, Ann Miller. She's a star. Watch out for that one,
Watch
kids.
out for Ann Miller. Leg up.
Yeah, wow.
Her and Debbie Reynolds, their stars on the rise.
They're also, okay, so when I was in the middle of researching this, I found some utter fucking gems. One of them was, I went down an Ann Miller rabbit hole because she does a great video, which is a fantastic rabbit hole.
I've heard that Ann Miller has a great rabbit hole.
Has a great hole. We're going to get to so much innuendo, I can't even start. I'll let my boy... Cole, take it over for me. But she has one where it's divas on divas, and it's her discussing, it was Elizabeth Taylor or something, and it was just old dames shitting on each other. It's incredible.
Oh my god!
So I highly recommend that rabbit hole.
We'll have to put a link of it on our Instagram.
I have a lot of links I want to do on Instagram, and we're putting this up on YouTube. This is new for us, by the way. Okay,
yep,
and so there's a lot of visual jokes that I'm excited to do. Bossy's choreo.
Just pretend that you're the audience and I'm one of the actors in the show, and I've finished singing a song, and now I'm going to throw something right at you because that's how it works.
Take off my glove.
Ah!
Ooh, that worked. That was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay. Are we ready to fucking get
I'm ready.
into
Tell me
Kiss Me
about
Kate?
Kiss Me
Also,
Kate.
just shout out to me wearing a bra, which hasn't happened
Is
in
that why
like
you're so
3 months.
busty?
That's why, yeah, the girls are, it's June. And so I'm busting out all over, you know.
As other tens.
Oh, I had one correction corner from last week. I could save it for hair. Do you want me to?
Save it for
do
the,
that?
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Okay, Kiss Me Kate. Oh shit, let's go. Okay, I'm so excited. First of all, I told Will when we first started doing this podcast, so here's a very fun thing that I feel like I've shared before, like we're sober fools. And so in the rooms, I think I shared this when I did Carousel, because the same lovely elderly statesman gay guy from the rooms gave me, he and I had this thing where we had like a book exchange, and he was like super prolific with reading, and he would read in like a day. And so he would come into like different groups that we had, and he would give me like an olden timey gay book to read. This book is one of the ones that he's given me, and it has taken me a hot 11 months. I love you. I'm so sorry you're going to get your book back. It has a lot of dog ears. Sorry.
Is over?
Or we'll say bitch.
Because
yes.
I've just noticed that there's a whole generation of gay men that already understands how amazing Cole Porter is, and yet I think ours skipped it and needs to learn.
Okay, that is the thing that I've tragically discovered. Also, I've discovered that I don't have enough gay coworkers. I have one coworker who knew who Cole Porter was, because like, what are you doing this weekend? And I was like, oh, recording, a podcast about Cole Porter, as you do. And they're like, who? But there was one girl who's like, I like Ella Fitzgerald. I know who that is. And I was like, yay! So I need more gay coworkers. Also, I don't think I can say his real name. So the lovely man who gave me this book, I love you and I'm sorry, and I'm giving you your book back. But it's just a funny story of how I get these. I'm constantly doing these olden-timey musicals, and that's because of our
well, we'll
our
bleep
elderly
him
statesman.
anyway.
Yeah,
because I know how to do that now.
Of it and make it sound like it's like Kennedy, Obama. Yes, he's fabulous. And he read this in like 2 days, and it took me, what did I say, 9-10 months ago? I was like, I've got this great Cole Porter book. You have
been talking about this since you started doing this show.
So it was like, okay, there's a virus. I can read now. Great. Okay.
There's a virus. I can read now.
There's a virus. It's like, I've been hit.
There's a sunny side to every disease.
Yeah, reading. Literacy is my... Well, we talked about my COVID experience. Okay, Kiss Me Kate, y'alls. Okay, wait, one of my favorite things is like he used to go by J.O. Cole, like jack off. Okay, girl, I see you. So many things. I am giving like I have 11 pages of notes. I have so many pages in this book, and it's going to be so erratic. I took my ADD meds today because it's like a work day. So hopefully I'll be more linear in this storytelling, but so I don't even know where to start. There's we could choose your own adventure this. I could talk a little bit about Cole Porter, just his life, and then launch us into Kiss Me Kate. I feel like that's more fun. I'll do that. I'm going to do that.
Great. I'm glad I could help.
Unless you feel like I should do like Kiss Me Kate, and then I'll be like, pause, time machine, back to Cole Porter's life.
Why, were you going to start with Taming of the Shrew and tell us all about Shakespeare?
Yeah, I was going to do... That was another version, because you know that I studied the bard at the Rada, so I know like a stupid amount about all that shit, but we're not going to do that now.
I have read a stupid amount of Shakespeare in my life. I love the histories.
Yeah. Well, this is not his best, so I am fine to shit on the dead.
I've never
Also,
seen
this one is not... we'll get to it.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to start with Cole Porter, because I love this man. Which man? Oh, this sassy bitch.
Look at him.
There's so many good picks in this, so I can't wait. Ooh, I'll do that. We'll do like a little Cole Porter story time. Okay, who the fuck is Cole Porter? This is what I didn't realize. He was this like, I would never have liked him in real life if he existed today. Probably would have loved him back then. He was born in 1891. and he died in 1966. But we're not there yet. He was also, okay, this is a thing about taking 9 months to read a book. He was born in Peru, Indiana, and I was like reading it, and I was like reading it, and there's like, and those motherfuckers call themselves Peruvians. Like, shut up. And so I was reading, I was like, oh God, I gotta go back. When the hell was he from Peru? Like Cole Porter. I was like, you white as hell, girl. No, Indiana. He's from Indiana. And in fact, he was born into the richest family in Indiana.
Peru or in Indiana?
No, in Indiana. And possibly Peru. I'm not familiar with their economic state at the time. I would say, who knows? But yeah, so he was
that's an action item for the audience. Could you find out if the GDP of someone in Indiana was more or less than the GDP of someone from Peru?
Are we adjusting for inflation from 1891? Or...
They could just look at 1891 and compare.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, that's fine. I task one of my straight coworkers that might listen to this with that. I'll be like, got it. Okay, so these notes are so stupid. Super wealthy grandfather. Okay, so like the richest dude in the state. He was estranged from his father. He was like bosom buddies with his mom. Like his mom, there were 2 main women in his life. We'll get to Linda, which was his wife. And Katie, she was a grande dame. She was this wife. Ooh, we'll get there. She was this like grande dame kind of stoic thing. I mean, she was just this like rich bitch living her life. He was raised by the grandfather. That was kind of like whatever. And then he was shipped off, as one normally was in the early 1900s, to boarding school.
Seriously,
and then he eventually...
they just did not like their own children back then.
Yeah, they just were like, ugh, I thought I got you out of me. Why are you still here?
I could get behind that, though. That's the kind of parenting I could do.
Yeah, I could be really into, maybe I'll like, my child will listen to this and be like, future child, Caitlin, sorry.
It's a different kind of helicopter.
And also, future child, what did we decide our children's name was going to be? Insecticide. Insecticide, if you're listening, I'm so sorry, honey. Yeah, I'm really into the like shipping my kids off thing. And so was Katie Porter. Back to it. Let's go. So he went to Yale in 1910. And then he actually wrote to this day what is used as the Yale fight song, which is like, rah, rah, bulldogs.
Yeah.
Probably like gay shit.
It's like,
I mean, I do have the actual thing that I could find. Ooh, we'll do, as I look for that, I can find, ooh, look at this one. These are some sexy men's too. Okay, here's some Yale stuff. There's
I do
Cole
want to
Porter.
go back in time and touch men from pictures.
Oh, I mean, doesn't this one look like he's just hiding his a dick? Like in that cone.
Oh, good Lord. The one to the left of him. Look at that bulge.
Yeah, there. Oh, yeah.
Of course, back then it's mostly pube.
Oh, you can't really unsee that. Okay, so he was... And he like thrived at, he's a witty motherfucker. So he was like this like hot kid in town. He spent a lot of time with the football players. Okay, girl. We understand why. And then he went to...
Maybe he was their good luck charm, huh?
Exactly. He was like, rah, rah, bulldog, bear dog, raw dog.
Raw dog.
So then he went to, I'm going to like fast forward like fast. He went to Harvard. His grandfather was all about like, he was like, Cole, jack off Cole, J.O. Cole, you have to be a lawyer. And he was like, no, son, like grandson of mine. So he was supposed to be this like carry on the family name. So he went to Harvard, and then the like dean of Harvard Law School was like, yo, like you really love this whole singy-songy thing. Why don't you do that? We're not going to tell your grandfather. So his mother also covered for him. And so Cole Porter actually studied music at Harvard. But everyone was telling the grandfather, like, which is so great. I love that. What if there's, like just some queens going to Penn State University or something like, yeah, Grandpa, I'm getting a law degree.
Well, there's a big difference between a law degree and a music degree.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he could have been his own... he could have been an entertainment attorney, but thank God he wasn't. Okay. So thought that was a fun little fact. Then he went overseas in World War I. He fought for like the French Legionnaires.
Their disease is legendary.
Yes. He's a legion. He taught gunnery to American soldiers. Okay, girl.
I've never heard that word, but it's so gay.
I was like, and he, this is very fun. He had a portable piano constructed for him so he could carry it on his back, and then he could entertain the troops.
What?
So he'd be like, yes. So he was like walking around. People were like, fucking trench warfare. Like, holy shit. World War I, like some real ass war shit.
Like, prop it up on that pile of dead bodies and play us a tune.
And the people like, tickle the ivories. So
Shell shock.
After that, he moved to Paris for like a decade. And he was just like this rich dude. He was kicking it.
Parties.
Oh my God, girl, let me get to his parties. His parties are so good. That's next. So then he basically was just like rich in Paris for a decade, which is fabulous. It was there
Jealous.
that he met. Oh my God, honestly. Like, what did you, thank you for writing all this great music, but like back then, and also this was the craziest time because not to go on to like a gay history moment, but like so many men were over there like facing their mortality and having some raw dog bulldog Yale sex in the trenches, apparently to the tune of Cole Porter and his fucking portable piano. So there were all of these gay men that decided they would go to these gay friendly cities, Paris being one of them. So there's actually, this is interesting that there's no record of him joining any branch of the forces. So it's like, what was he doing? Would he just like volunteer for the French legions and was entertaining the troops? So
he
there's
just
a little like discrepancy.
And we said, okay.
He's like, I made this like fucking baby grand on
I
my
brought
back.
a piano. You're going to let me play.
Yeah, he's like, I'm Peruvian.
We invented potatoes.
So yes. So his parties in Paris. Yes. There was all of this great cross-dressing, which is great. This is where like the art of drag is like hundreds of years old, but it was a big moment for drag. And this was the quote unquote in the apartment that he maintained in Paris with some other guy whose name I apparently forgot to write down. This was a line, a lot of gay and bisexual activity, cross-dressing, nobility, a large surplus of recreational drugs. So that's a Will and Caitlin kind of party, faux show.
Of the past.
Of the past, like of our 20s and the 1920s. Yeah, exactly. Okay, this was my next note, as if like this were just a footnote.
Don't you want to know like which recreational drugs were they?
Okay, so I have some tea on that. We'll get to it.
Was it tea?
It was tea. It was just opium tea. No, it was like one that I didn't recognize, like it was a benzode. It was essentially like, it was Benzedrine.
That's an amphetamine.
Okay, so that was a big one in Hollywood later.
I believe that's
if I forget about the gay sex parties, you have to just stop everything and be like, shut the fuck up about Ann Miller and get back to the gay sex parties, because that's what we're all here for.
Audience, let us know, is Benzedrine what they gave Judy Garland to make her skinny for ever? I think it was.
For life. Okay, I have some. Here, we'll get to it. All right, that's fine. Well, I have the exact one. I'll use it as a correction corner of all the drugs. Okay, so then he was in Paris and he met Linda Lee. She was 8 years his senior. She was crazy rich. Like Cole Porter was rich. She was of Robert E. Lee lineage and Washington and Lee, like that kind of Lee from Virginia, Williamstown. This bitch was like crazy rich. Like Cole Porter was like, oh my God, I got a rich person. You're like, motherfucker, you're richer than all the Peruvians. And like, so his life, most people were like, are you going to do anything? And he was like, nah. So he would have parties. I want to go into Linda just a little bit more because obviously they were together, his wife, until she died in 1960 to 52. I got it. We'll get there. It's in there.
Doesn't matter.
It don't matter. It was before I was here, so it was BC.
Bitch dead.
That bitch dead, so let's shit on her. No, she was lovely. She's apparently like super hot. She also, a lot of rumors, they obviously had an arrangement. So just to give, because he was openly the way he was. And it actually became a problem throughout their relationship, especially it was coming to a head around Kiss Me Kate. They almost got like completely separated before that time. There was a reason that they were pulled back together. We'll get there. And she had an abusive first husband, and she was like, fuck this. I don't want a dick. You don't need to give me a dick. Like, I need a man who is like classy. And here came this like sophisticated man who would like tickle the ivories and make all this like witty word play. And he was like cute. And he was like deferential to her. And she was like, that's great. It was essentially like the GBF. I mean, I don't have to explain a beard relationship, but it was much more, almost maternal in some ways, especially towards the end. It was certainly companionship. It was not fucking a sexual relationship at all. Also, oh my God, I watched DeLovely last night. I tried to watch DeLovely. That is so bad. Like, how much cocaine was done where someone's like, yeah. It was like, it's the craziest. And why is Alanis Morissette in it? Why? Stay in your Jagged Little Pill lane, girl.
I didn't even catch it was her.
Oof, that was the thing. So they did, like, it was awful. Like, Sheryl Crow comes in, and they all sing the worst renditions of songs. Like, it was trying to be like, oh, people we know. Like, stop doing that. There's a fantastic scathing review of that movie from, like, the San Francisco Chronicle, where someone's like, because that same year that it was released in 2004, they had LL Cool J sing to Carol Channing with Hello, Dolly, if anybody remembers that. And she was like, so it was just like, please don't do that. Nobody wants to see this mishmash. Like, it's okay if people have separate interests. We don't need to bring the LL Cool J fans to fucking Broadway. Like,
we will find a link to that.
And he's not going to be the link via fucking Carol Channing. It's not like, oh, that, dream couple. Okay, back to 1919. So they were in Paris, and he was like, fucking going around the world. He was, for Porter, she was, quote, one hell of a beard. She enrolled him in the Paris Music School. His first hit was in 1919, The Old-Fashioned Garden. Hadn't heard of it.
That old ditty.
Rolls right. That old-fashioned garden. Everything's just gonna have to have a dick in it. If you don't know why I keep saying dick a dick, like, just why? How have you possibly made it this far in this podcast? You should be listening to a podcast on Kiss Me Kate. Okay, so first, when they were married, people were like, why don't you just like kick it and be rich? And he like went around the world. Cole Porter was this huge traveler. He liked to, he used to go, also he wouldn't just like travel, he would travel with like fucking Moss Hart, and go to of course, and they would do like 6 months going around the world on the deck of ships. They would also write shows together, and he did a lot of writing while, like, he liked to write near the Atlantic, so much so that when he was writing Kiss Me Kate, he was like, get me near the Atlantic. Like, he wanted to be near water when he was writing because he was so used to whatever the fucking motion of the ocean. Puts anything goes into perspective, though. That's pretty cute. So they get married. They have their arrangement. Her discussion with him is like, oh, this is actually really cute. So they're very detailed about their 1919 apartment. Is their house had platinum wallpaper and chairs upholstered in zebra skin. So think about all the gay sex that was happening on that zebra skin fucking chairs with platinum just shooting.
Couldn't tell
lights
what
off
was
of
black
taints.
on white and what was white on black, right?
Yeah, it was very equality. Equality, just great, Caitlin, got it. That was apparently funny enough to me that I wrote that down. In 1923, they moved to Venice after he got his grandparents. His grandfather died, so he got the inheritance. They rented a residence for $4,000 a month. Which that was interesting.
I found out that the translation dollar-wise, I only looked up this much about Cole Porter because I wanted to make sure I was watching the right Kiss Me Kate, was that they showed a picture of that gorgeous house in Venice. It is the equivalent of $60,000 a month, our dollars.
Oh, girl. Yeah, so if that, I mean, crazy rich, like
crazy
one
rich.
Of the richest people. That was actually a big distinguishing factor for Cole Porter, is that he made such a splash because he came, it was definitely, of course, like Noel Coward, Irving Berlin, all around that like time and vibe. But this was the dude that came from this very aspirational lifestyle because he lived it. Everything was sophisticated. These kind of like black tuxes and Cary Grant and Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire fucking singing shit. And you're just like, ooh, he lived that life. And it just like rolled off the tongue because it was like nothing to him. Fun story. He hired 50 gondoliers to act as footmen for his parties. He would throw like crazy. They threw ragers in Venice. That was like probably some Eyes Wide Shut. All sorts of like,
Carnival of Venice we were just there. It's fucked up, man. And
it was
people over 40 too. They are just.
Yeah, I mean, rich people are into some shit. Like, write us if you're super rich and you like are touring the world and you choose to listen to this. Tell us like what's up with that and what's that like.
If you need a couple witty people to take with you, we'll gladly go to Venice once the world and traveling exists again.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll add my duty to that open tour.
Yeah, no, get on in there. I think it was just that they were very extravagant. Like he would hire 50 gondoliers to come into just like, that's crazy. Just to bring people.
There are only 50 gondoliers.
And then he would, exactly, like, I need them all. And then they would like come and work the parties.
Yeah, like what are they doing?
Yeah, they were just like, they would shepherd people to and from on their fucking canals to their other places. And then they would just like, just preposterous things. Like he was now that he was like flush with cash from his inheritance and Linda Lee, he was just fucking burning through money.
By the way, the whole, I got a little bit of crush on gondoliers when we were there. And I was surprised to see that is not a subgenre of pornography. I could not find gondolier fetish anywhere.
Look harder. It's gotta be out there. Well, honestly, your opportunity, Will. I wish you best in this world as gondolier porno maker. 1925. So he moves to Greenwich Village. He puts out the Greenwich Village Follies. We were talking about rock follies in Evita. So Greenwich Village Follies. Maybe it's the rocks in Greenwich Village in the cobble streets.
Well, there's so many damn follies.
So many. Why were there so many? They're just like, people are like, follies of
I don't know what to call this show.
So he would write all of these songs, even though he was doing like music school and kicking it. He was genuinely just like talking shit about people when they would be in the room at his parties and be like, there's that dumb bitch heiress with her barest. And you're just like, what? Because he's like, no, he's paying attention to me. So he was writing all these songs for friends. And they're like, yo, man, like this shit is legit. Do your thing. So he put out Greenwich Village Follies in 1925. Frustrated by the public reaction to his work, he nearly gave up songwriting altogether. And then he was like, fuck it, I'm just going back to my like fabulous parties and I'll perform for friends and that's it. Well, he had friends in pretty fucking high places. So when you have like Noel Coward being like, come on, you do some shit. Okay, so 1928, he wrote his first show, which I just wrote Paris. I can't believe that's actually the name. Oh, it is? Okay, great. Wrote his first show, Paris. Goetz, Goetz, commissioned the show. He wanted Rodgers and Hart, but they were too busy. So his agent convinced, like, hey, why don't you just give this young upstart Cole Porter a shot? Okay. Oh, then I abruptly... Actually, let's do it. Let's hop into Kiss Me Kate, shall we? So obviously then he went on, he did fucking Anything Goes. He's doing a shitload of Hollywood stuff. He's getting like very famous. He's crushing life. And then, are we fast forwarding to 1948?
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny that honestly, what his best known, most important work is like End of Life. Because didn't he have like a dry spell? Right? Such
a dry spell. So it was actually like about 10 years of nothing great happening. Oh, while I'm doing that, I should kind of talk about... So if you don't know about Cole Porter, like the thing is all of his really gay shit that he used to write within his songs. We'll get to a few. One of them from Anything Goes, which we know. If all of you 4 fans of Leslie with a Z know the lesbian undertones from that.
Well, tell them that
oh,
first.
Sure. So it's
When Mother.
Thanks, Will. The consummate music director, always there for me. When Mother.
Sing out, Caitlin.
Caitlin, do the dancing dance. Show your tits. You're wearing a bra.
Take off a glove.
When mothers pack and leave poor father because they decide they'd rather be tennis pros. Anything goes. Yes. Ooh, Will, that was great.
Okay.
So that was about fucking lesbians, and you're crazy if you think it's not. Other things. So he was super throughout this whole time, through his successes throughout Hollywood in the 1930s, as we're going up, because we're going to get to the 1940s in a second. Linda is like, cool, I get that you're having all these like sex parties, and like I know that you like men and I don't. That's fine. Like, as in, she had no interest in having sex with him. Yeah. There are lots of rumors that she too was bisexual, but not a lot. There's like, for every fifth resource you'll hear something about that, but sure.
She could have low libido. I mean, she doesn't have to be sexual.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. Like, I think that's what it was. It's
like a woman in the past. They did not have desires.
Yeah, she's a flower. She's delicate. Okay, so, but he had, including, oh, wait, I think this is the picture. Look at this queen. This is Nicholas Barclift, one of his gay lovers. Look at that queen. Hey! Heck, gay! He then went on to actually choreograph a few Cole Porter shows, none of which were successful. Barclift. But he wrote some songs, like Barclift was in, this was now, we fast forwarded to World War II. He was in the war, and so Cole wrote about him, Soldier Boy. I'm in love with the Soldier Boy, so in love with the Soldier Boy. So he wrote women so well, and being so in love with all their men that they could, that's it. That's the song. No, there's a lot more to this song.
No, I just mean he's so good at understanding women and what they want.
Yeah. How could he do that? I may have to do like a subsection that I tack on, which really goes through where I'm like very buttoned up about the super gay shit that he says. But essentially this could show Cole Porter's life, which is, now my life's completely cluttered with soldiers, sailors, not to speak of those big Marines, because I'm always doing something for the boys, or they're doing something for me. Okay, Mary. So he's a big queen. I'll cut to, I have so many fun stories. Okay, let's just do Hollywood before we get into Kiss Me Kate. So they went to Hollywood. These were his parties he would have.
Oh, that's a lot of butts.
With boys, it's a lot of butts. And he actually had, so the home still stands today in Brentwood, which I hear is very classy.
Very classy.
And they had a pool put in, and he was like, the diving board's on the wrong side, and he wanted to be able to sit from his little chaise lounge and watch the boys dive. So he made them turn the fucking pool around and remake the pool so that he could like leer at them. Other fun stories about Cole Porter is he used to, oh my God, I know that I had this. Oh, here we go. Yes, I'm on this page. Okay. It was on the deck of the pool that Robert Wheaton, just some guy he was fucking, several times saw Cole stretched out in the sun, nude except for a towel covering his genitals, looking a bit like a Buddha. Then his barber would arrive and not only cut Cole's hair, but shave his entire body. He had no hair anywhere on his body except on his head. Anywhere. And that was because we're really getting into what we know his kinks are. He had no hair because it made him feel unclean. This was a weekly ritual. Could you imagine? That's the kind of wealth I want to have and power. Just be like, shave it all, baby.
With like a straight blade too.
Yeah, exactly. Like that could be a very scary Sweeney. Yeah, for sure. That'd be some scary Sweeney.
Manscape.
Yes. His balls were shaved. You just know that's what that means.
They're itty bitty and they're totally smooth.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I loved that part, and also I wanted to relate it back to hair, that he wouldn't have been great in a production of Hair. Okay, great. So, this is some good shit about homosexual lovers. Okay. So he had all these lovers. Linda was like, yo, stop going to Hollywood, because in Hollywood, he was like unabashed. Obviously, we just saw that picture. He used to fly flags. And if you saw a flag flying over Cole's house, it was like, don't go over there. Shit's going down.
Old Glory.
Exactly. It was
Old
like,
Glory
he was
Hall.
like, the sock would ascend up onto the proverbial door.
Maybe it was just
handle.
this little guy named Flag that they would put up there on the pole.
He'd be like, flag. Don't be so flaggy. Okay. Also, this was just a joke, and I wrote joke. I'd rename his bio, My Heart Belongs to Zaddy. I thought that was a funny joke. To me, I laughed.
What's Zaddy?
Zaddy? What's Zaddy?
What's Zaddy?
What? I mean, do I have to teach you gay vernacular? Are you kidding?
I'll teach you
say
pussy.
Wrong? Zaddy. That's it, right? Jesse, phone a fucking friend. Get Jesse P. Langston in here. Okay.
Kevin, do you know what Zaddy is?
It's like a hot daddy.
Yes.
Oh, well, no one ever called me Zaddy, so I don't know it.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that. Now we know a lot. Kevin, call Will Zaddy. Ooh, Kevin,
I got
I'll call you
jealous that my
Zaddy.
friend got hit on by someone on the train the other day because I was like, nobody ever hits on me on the train. And then Kevin reminded me that people do.
Okay, I'm gonna get to Kiss Me Kate. There was lots of gay sex. Linda was like, please stop doing this. Maybe stop doing Hollywood so much and then just come home too, because they lived in the Waldorf Astoria. They had separate rooms, like separate apartments altogether. By the time, okay, so he was very successful. He was killing the game. He was fucking Cole Porter. 1948 rolls around. It's been like a hot, like almost a decade really since he's had something that's made a splash. He's done some Hollywood stuff, not to varying success in the early 40s. The game gets changed totally with Oklahoma and then Carousel and the subsequent On the Town, which he shits on later. I'll find that. That's great. So in 1947, which is when they begin writing it, the genesis of this show, the inspiration for it, was the onstage and offstage battling of husband and wife actors Alfred Lunt and Lynn Fontaine during a Broadway production of Taming of the Shrew. And Saint Suber, I'm sure I'm not saying that right. Sorry, Queens. Someone out there is like, Saint Suber! Arnold Saint Suber, went by Saint, was he was like tiny producer on that production, and he would witness that this wife and husband team would do like Taming of the Shrew, where they could act out the like beating your wife into submission play, which is what Taming of the Shrew is.
There's so much spanking and it's so fucked up.
Oh, it's so fucked up. We'll get into the spanking. And so he is like, I got to turn this shit into a musical comedy. This is rife for it. So he approaches the Spewacks, Bella Spewack and Sam Spewack, but fuck Sam, because he apparently did nothing for Kiss Me Kate, to the point that most people, actually, this biographer barely even recognizes him as having done anything. They were also husband and wife, estranged at the time and separated, so they were writing a lot of themselves into it when they were writing it. They were the librettist. And
Never heard of them, though.
Never heard of them. They worked with Cole on, what was it, Leave It to Me or something like that? All right, let me get to the damn.
Just leave it back to me.
Fuck it, we're just going to say it's Leave It to Me. I don't know if it was. I think it was.
Who cares?
So they worked together. Yeah, who cares? They worked together, and Bella was like, we got to get Cole Porter for this, because Saint Suber came to it, and the producers, Saint was one of the producers, were like, oh, he's pretty washed up, like him. And they're like, why don't, this was one of my favorite things, they're like, why don't instead we get somebody who's fresh off of Harvard, and he just did, what was it called? He had like just done, oh, this was a joke.
Hasty Puddings?
Yes, Hasty Puddings. So like, so I'm sure Hasty Puddings is great and everything, but like comparing two resumes, like fresh out of Harvard with Hasty Puddings, or Cole Porter with all of these amazing fucking songs and shows, and they're like, that fucking dude. So who knows who it was, but Hasty Puddings, I'm sure you're fucking famous in your own right, because they didn't write who it was. So Yes, the Hasty Pudding Show at Harvard. So Bella was like, no. She persisted. And finally, they were like relented and were like, okay, let's take it to Cole Porter. And Cole Porter was like, fuck that. Like so the Spewacks were also like, oh, goddamn, Taming of the Shrew, because it's super problematic. They actually referred to Taming as Shakespeare's slap your wife around, she'll thank you for it play, which is pretty fucking accurate. I would love to go into Taming of the Shrew, but I won't because we spent too much time, thank God, on the gay parties in Hollywood. But it's very problematic. Most people think that it was the guy that they always rumor to have written a lot of Shakespeare's shittier shows. He had a hell beast of a sister that everyone was like this, and her name was like a Catherine or something. So everyone's like, okay, well, that was a cunty thing to do as a brother. But I guess if you're writing with the pseudonym of Shakespeare, you can do that. So it's an awful play. It shouldn't be done. What's up with that play? But fun fact about Taming of the Shrew and Kiss Me Kate is that Kiss Me Kate has run longer. The original production of this has run longer than any production of Taming of the Shrew. So it is arguably more successful. I mean, let's give it a couple more 100 years to like have some staying power.
All I know is that we were watching one of the spanking scenes last night, and I turned to Kevin and I said, so sensibilities have changed since this came out, right?
Oh, the spanking thing. So for the latest revival that they just did, we'll get through a few like fun facts about different productions. The latest revival, they took the spanking out. The spanking was the original cover for the show, the like cover art for the movie, the film poster. And they did it like very interestingly. They made like the skin tone very similar to the background, so it looked like raw butt that he was spanking. It was like, oh, okay.
Naughty.
It was very naughty. So Bella went to Cole and she was like, hey, will you do this? And he's like, I'm not sure if I would consider, was not too sold on the idea of tackling Shakespeare. Nobody wanted to just take Taming of the Shrew and turn it into the show. That much was clear. So Bella Spewack went back. He told her no 3 times. On the 3rd time that she visited him, he said, draw the set. And like, she was like, I don't really draw, but okay. So she came in and she had to like fucking like clip or like, you know, stick drawing the set and what it would look like and talk through it. And she says, this is Saint Suber, who fucking hated her. Those two were like oil and water, Bella and Saint. He totally denies this and calls this a barefaced lie. But she says she's the one who came to him and was like had picked out different lines of Shakespeare's texts, which is, where's the life that late I led, were thine that special face, because she knew that they were like the most rhythmic of lines and that would appeal to Cole. Then she said it was one of that garrulous and lurid, listen how people fucking talked back then, lurid but fairly accurate description of our world today, came another opening, another show. I remember Cole singing it to me at the piano for the first time and ignoring my ecstatic response. So another opening, another show was kind of his response to no business, like show business. Mm-hmm. Obviously has stood the test of time. It's
great. I'd say it's like 2/3 as famous as There's No Business Like Show Business.
Yeah, it's like almost there.
If you're not going to do There's No Business Like Show Business, then you're going to do another show.
Yeah, like if you're not going to pony up the rights for that, you're like, right, the other show business one.
Irving Berlin, give me Cole Porter.
Yeah, there's some really good shit. Okay, there's a fantastic American Theater article, if you want to know, and I got really obsessed with this, of how Bella Spewack wanted to write this show, because it is very important, because it is so different, and it has like half the fucking misogyny. So she actually envisioned, here, let me find all my notes on this, because I have too many. Okay. So it's very important to know that she wrote most of it. Sam, her husband's work, they were like separated and living separately, and he's like, whatever, just put my name on it and do it. And so they fought, and she actually paid him out with some of her royalties. Most people do not credit him as the book writer because she was such a strong force in it. And she was kind of overtaking it with what she wanted. Eventually, they would have all of these like men production meetings without Bella, and they would push her out and they'd be like, Bella's going raging feminist type stuff all over this. And But Sam's work consisted mostly of revising a few sections, notably the scenes with the gangsters. Bella was super against the gangsters. She said, please don't give them a song. She was super against it. Then they got like, fucking brush up your Shakespeare, which was a killer. And she's like, okay, I was wrong. I guess I'll tell like a 30-second version of what the show's about. Kiss Me Kate is this like second-rate acting company. You have this director/star of the show.
Always a good sign.
Always a good sign. They are putting on a production of Taming of the Shrew. You're watching that first scene, the director is like being a real bitch to his leading lady, and then you go backstage and realize, oh, they were married once, and they're estranged now, and so he's having this big power play. Cool. And then they fucking, through this series of events, he sends her flowers, but it's meant for the other bitch that he's like fucking in the cast, Lois Lane / Bianca, which has a whole subplot of her and Bill, which is her love interest. He's a gambler. Oh my goodness. The 30s. And so these gangsters are tracking him down. And so they actually like kidnap, Catherine, the Lily / Catherine, the actress is Lily. Catherine is obviously fucking Reed Kiss, Taming of the Shrew, at high school. It's not a great play. If you're going to read a Shakespeare comedy, make it 12th Night. So they do the show. He like sends a note, and she thinks it's this note that he's like remembered their anniversary, and she sings like a gorgeous song, So in Love. And it turns out it was meant for the other one. She realizes that halfway through the show when she looks at the note, and it's not her name, and she's like, ah! And they start fighting within the show within a show, the backstage hijinks, the gangsters come, and she's like, I'm not doing the fucking show, go fuck yourself. And the gangsters are like, no, we're gonna make you do the show. They kidnap her, which is scary because it's one thing to have the like super like abuse towards women in like a crazy, awful, problematic show on stage, but then they brought that into like the actual offstage part of it. That's pretty much it. Then he like starves her and into submission, and then she's like, oh, it's fine. It's like that fucking carousel, like, it only hurts a little, baby. Like, where she's just like, oh, it must mean that he really loves me. There's this weird plot where, like, her new husband she's gonna have is, like, gonna run for VP or some shit. And then she's like, fuck this new dude. I actually really love the guy who's awful to me. And she sings this awful song. They pretty much end the show with, I am ashamed that women are so simple, which, yes, that was a soliloquy within the show. So there's not a lot they could do until the 2019 revival, which we'll get to because there are some fun changes on that. Okay. Anything else before we get back to how Bella wanted the show to be? Okay. So she was like, what if we made this shit less crazy and I tried to fix one of these really bad problematic texts, because she was like, I don't really like Taming the Shrew. I haven't read it since high school. When she reread it, she was like, this shit still is awful. And so she said why she envisioned, there's a great American Theater magazine article from 2018 that everyone should read, where she envisioned it like Rosalind from As You Like It. And she has Catherine dressed up as a boy to go tell Petruchio that he should woo this cursed Catherine and he should do it in this way. So it kind of turns into like, oh, she's got a kink and she wants to be shamed. So it's more consenting as opposed to just fucking straight up abuse.
Well, she does sing in So in Love with You Am I, but haunt me and hurt me, deceive me, desert me.
Yeah. Oh, God, I love that song. Also, I'll get to it, but you've got to listen.
Well, Kevin was listening to it, and he's like, that's a little, isn't it? And I was like,
oh, yeah. No, there's a lot. There's a lot in there. But listen to Kelly O'Hara.
Spit on me.
Okay, so also interestingly enough, I have the full text, which I can paste somewhere because I'm not going to do a fucking dramatic reading of it. But she shits on Taming of the Shrew as Tilly. Originally, it was called Tilly, not Lily. In the first thing, these are from the like papers, which are in Columbia's archives. Thank you, Columbia University, for your archives. And she has an exchange with the director where she's like, she basically was pushing this narrative that it should have been As You Like It, not Taming of the Shrew, as there was some sort of consent. And she's like, okay, so here we go. Yada, yada. I've always wanted to play Petruchio, and you'll play Catherine, yada, yada. And then she said, like, I don't like Catherine. So you hear the actress divorce herself from Catherine in it, saying, like, I don't like this part. I don't like it. And then he says, as the director, he's Fred at this point. This is Fred / Petruchio. And he's saying, like, I don't happen to like Catherine. Then he says, that's a hell of a time to tell me. And she said, audiences don't like hard-bitten, nasty women with brains. And then he turns it on her like, well, I do, my sweet. Ew, is that a pickup line? Is that a shitty pickup line from the 30s? And so she was trying to hint and put in the script all these things that, like, women aren't puppets. And Cole Porter and Saint would be like, no, women are puppets. Put it back in. She was like, so when she was dressed as a boy, this was the original scene she wrote. She goes to see Petruchio. She says, a woman is a hapless thing, merely man's puppet and convenient. Convenience when it is convenient. Petruchio, which, my lad, is as it should be. And Catherine says, there, I do not agree. So it's sort of her going against, like, that you shouldn't be a fucking puppet. If you do want to get into... So that was sad, and she didn't really ever get to do the version of the show that she wanted, and she had to relent, and then she had a fucking show where there's a song where, like, I'm ashamed fucking women are so simple. That's
well,
just
she had
sad.
a hit also.
Yeah, I mean, she was laughing all the way to the fucking bank. If anybody does have interest in Taming of the Shrew, you should watch, and it's on YouTube, Kiss Me Petruchio. And it is like a 1979 or something production, Shakespeare in the Park. So you get to see Joe Papp with Meryl Streep as Catherine. She crushes it. She does, like, sometimes you see Meryl Streep and you're like, overrated. Then you're like, God damn, Meryl Streep. Like, Meryl Streeped the shit out of this. And she just, oh God, she's so good. And it does a great job of her just talking about, like, the shame involved and sort of how Petruchio comes in and he checks. Essentially, Catherine is this sort of, like, spoiled brat. She's always had her way and she's always been this, like, shrew. And he comes in and he checks her. And so she's interested, of course. But also, like, written within the text, you can kind of see where she's like, yeah, she's having this realization of, like, maybe I shouldn't be a fucking bitch, though. Like, I shouldn't be beat up. I shouldn't be starved, but maybe I shouldn't be a bitch. So watch Kiss Me Petruchio. Also, the Puerto Rican guy who plays Petruchio is fantastic. I love him. That is my Joe Papp fact. But they do the show, and it's a hit. It's a fucking hit, baby. Cole Porter, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about his writing. He would always write... he was notorious. He would call people at, like, 1 a.m. He would call his, like, stenographer in, and she'd be like, it's 2 a.m. though, Cole. He's like, I got a hit. You gotta come over.
Because he's on drugs.
And listen, he's on all the drugs. Oh my God. I told you to remind me of Clara. Okay, so do you want to know why he was on so many drugs?
Oh my God, that was the perfect Clara.
When Clara was 12. Okay.
It's because you're from North Carolina and you know how to do it.
Okay, so Cole fucking Porter, which I didn't know. Do you want to know why he was on a lot of drugs? He was also an alcoholic, but meh. Who wasn't? Were you really living in the 30s if you weren't? He was riding horseback in...
oh, no.
Yeah. He was riding horseback. I didn't know this. I mean, I guess I should have. He was thrown from his horse. And he was notorious for this. He'd be like, give me the biggest bitch you got. And he would take, like, the ones that people are like, don't take that horse. That horse is, like, being an asshole. He's like, I can tame it. And it's like, you're not a top. You're the top, Cole. So he would, like, he took this horse, and everyone's like, okay, he's kind of flipping out today. The horse throws him from him. The horse, like, rolls over Cole Porter. Then he rolls over him again, crushing both of his legs. So he couldn't walk for, like, the rest of his life. He used 2 canes. He used to have, like, strapping young men that would carry him places. He had some, like, he would use wheelchairs later. But he was this like absolute cripple. It was one of the reasons why he kind of like fell into such a state before Kiss Me Kate. This was about 7 years before Kiss Me Kate came out. And so he would like, when he was looking for Patricia Morrison, who was his eventual Catherine in this production, oh God, there's so many things I could talk about. He was like, that's not funny, but he was like hobble up to the orchestra because people were like, well, we don't know if she can sing it. Like she has such a tiny voice, because she would sing at parties and that's how they met. She was just like pretty much unknown. And he was like, I'll give her a chance. And people were like, yeah, but she won't be able to hit the back of the balcony. So he rented a theater. It was the Schubert. And then he hobbled up to like every single seat in like the balcony and the back, just to make sure that she could sing it. And he was like, those people are fucking crazy. And she was like hired the next day as Catherine. He would also take a golden whistle to rehearsal, and he would go to any rehearsal, and he was like a very involved lyricist. This is what a weird quote. One of the dancers was like, he cared more about the lyrics than the choreography. It's like, yeah, no shit. Why the fuck
What are
would
we
he
talking
care
about now?
like-
Are we talking about the choreography?
Yeah,
No.
exactly. So he would bring a little golden whistle, and he would have these like strapping young men like carry him different places and move him around the theater so he could listen. And he would like toot his whistle and be like, darling, darling, the lyrics. And he would just stop, full ass stop any rehearsal in the middle of rehearsal and make them do the lyrics again. He was most concerned about this because this was his first integrated musical that he had done where the songs were furthering the lyrics. He actually had a lot of bitching to do about that. He's like, damn Rogers and Emerson. He was like, we used to be able to in the 30s. I could write a song in like 25 minutes or 2 days. And he was like, now people are changing things in the script, and they could change the script, and then I have to change my damn words and go back. Kiss Me Kate was actually had like no changes when they did their out of town tryout. People were just like, this is great. He was like, oh, great. Pair that with like Remember Carousel when they got 2 hours.
You said they cut, yeah.
It was like 2 hours out of it. So that was it was a hit, and it was so much of a hit that then they did a movie about it, which you saw, and it was the big thing. Like, holy shit, Cole Porter's back! Put him on the map. It was his most successful show. It's like arguably they're like, yes, that's his big fucking show. So then they do a movie, and I have so much good shit. Movie. The movie, if you may recall from my little Pippin episode, this had Bob Fosse in it, and I would like to rather use Ann Miller's language for this. The moment in the show that made Bob Fosse or made people go like, holy shit, what is that, was from this moment on. It was actually a song that was dropped from the 1950 show Out of This World that Cole Porter contributed to.
I'm not surprised. It sounds like something that would come from the trunk.
Yeah, it's like so random. Besides that, it was one of the only like few Broadway musicals to arrive on screen with its score virtually intact. This song that they did add, wait, where is it? It's so funny. Where's that thing? Oh, okay. According to Ann Miller, the choreographer was very generous. He wasn't super rigid. He was like, hey, bring your style. He was working with like 3 different dance styles and his like 3 dancey men. And she said, this really provided a chance for the new kids at Metro to strut their stuff. And so they mostly did his choreography, but he was like, hey, do whatever you want. And it was one day, as we know, Bob Fosse would like work tirelessly while everyone else would like go to lunch. He would go to sound stages and like practice random shit. So he and Carol Haney, who would then go on to be in Pajama Game, choreographed by Bob Fosse, they were practicing a new routine in a soundstage when, this is from the mouth of Ann Miller, but sure. She saw them practicing and she was like, she said, I saw this routine that I thought that's the best I've ever seen. And I ran and got a Hermes pen. Hermes
pan.
How the fuck you say it? Hermes pan. Hermes pan.
Hermes.
Pan. Hermes. And George Sidney, who's the director, and we all sneaked around the side of the stage door to watch, and they loved it. And that's how they got that spot from In This Moment. So if you know what we're talking about, I'd love to edit this to just, it's gorgeous.
Because so I knew that was the first thing that Bob Fosse choreographed that ever ended up in a movie, and kind of what really began his career as a choreographer. But I've seen it on its own 10 times. And I just remember thinking, oh, that's so Bob Fosse. When you see it in the movie surrounded by the shit that's not Bob Fosse and is like from 10 years before Bob Fosse, you suddenly realize exactly how revolutionary what he was doing was.
100%. You even say, like, there's moments where, like, even when he's, even in Tom, Dick, and Harry, which, gotta gets my favorite fucking part of this show,
he's got,
which
like,
is Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Like, all these angular jumps and stuff?
Oh, my God, yeah. But he's got angular jumps there, but he's also just, like, the way that he takes the hits or whatever, like, it's just fucking what we now know to be Bob Fosse, but it was a kind of eccentric dancing that nobody had ever seen before, and that was it. People were like, what the fuck is this? How is this guy moving? Everyone wanted to do it. You see, he goes around a pole, non-Tommy Tune style, and he does this little, like, ooh, like this melt thing that everyone's like, oh, what the fuck? And they do this, like, deep breath. A lot of that was used later in the 2019 revival, that kind of, like, shaky breath. Fantastic. Can't wait to talk about that choreography. That was the moment that, from that moment on, Bob Fosse was a standout as a choreographer, later as a director. According to Ann Miller, he always credited me for giving his first big break. It was right here on film that we created a style of dancing still considered to be state-of-the-art Broadway. So there you have it. Thanks, Ann Miller.
Do you remember Ann Miller being mentioned in his biography that we read?
I remember that he mentioned, thank you to the choreographer for letting me do my shit.
I remember that. I also remember that women on the set of any movie they were on with him said that he would essentially try to rape them from behind.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, so that's the craziest part is I was like, oh, you're not going to give him the dick line? Okay, can we just talk about, we've taken too long to not discuss the song, Gimme a Dick, a Dick. Okay, love that fucking song. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar, that Bianca character, the Lois character, the, like, sassy, sexy lady who has all the innuendo, played by Ann Miller in the film. She is trying to choose, and she's just like, it's brilliant how they do it in the movie where she's throwing the net trying to catch the men. She's just like, give me anybody, give me a Tom or a Dick or a Harry. And so Cole Porter, being this, like, master wordsmith of sneaking in all of these gay innuendos throughout his song, was like, he must have been like, okay, well, fuck it, they're not going to let me write it, so I'm just going to write, because the chorus is, give me a dick, a dick, a dick, a dick, a dick, dick, a dick, dick. It's amazing. Thank you for that, Cole.
And it made it into the movie.
Made it into the movie. Ooh, let's talk about what didn't make it into the movie. So all of the gay lyrics that Cole Porter would always do. Here's a fabulous example. Too Darn Hot's original lyrics and the Broadway recording of them were, and I hope you guys know the Kinsey report or the Kinsey scale. Yes. Okay. So this was, like, fresh off of that. According to the
the latest?
No, but the Kinsey report. Kinsey report. Oh, fuck. Well, now I don't have the meter in my head.
Kinsey report.
Every average man you know. Thanks, Kevin. So it's, according to the Kinsey report, every average man you know much prefers to play his favorite sport when the temperatures are low. Pause. We're going to stop right there. That was him discussing about these meetings when it was low. The temperatures were low. It was cold outside. You always have to go inside. You would have to meet at underground, like at the Village, in these underground clubs. That's where men would meet each other. And it gets more overtly gay when it gets to, but when the thermometer goes way up and the weather is sizzling hot, Mr. Adam, for his madam, is not. So essentially addressing that Adam and Eve thing, like, he's not for that. Okay, so then Ann Miller, they change it to, she sings Too Darn Hot in the film, which I don't love. I mean, I love her, but I don't love that that's how they do it, because there's so many penultimate versions of Too Darn Hot. According to the latest report, every average girl you know much prefers her lovely doggy to court when the temperature is low. So that's it. So first of all, what are we saying? Like, I read those lyrics and I was like, wait, are they saying they prefer, like, she fucks her dog? Like, she wants to court her dog? Or it's like, oh, she much prefers her doggy, like hanging out with her dog, as opposed to courting. But he never would have written that because it's just shitty. That's just shitty writing. Come on.
Come on. Cole Porter, get your shit together.
Yeah. I just hate that, though. Like, come on, because people were so, like, I guess people were way hip to the Kinsey Report by that point.
I mean, like, the real lyrics are famous enough from other people singing them, even if it's not in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many, and I won't waste everyone's time here trying to find all of the, because I have a lot of them, but he's just a master at all these super gay innuendos. That's why it's so funny that he would write like tippy tap songs, and then you'd be like, oh, Kinsey Report, shit. Like every average man you know, like it maybe isn't so average.
I was impressed that they kept the Coriolanus joke.
Yes, kick her right in the Coriolanus. Why? Because it's kicking her ass?
Oh, right. If it's violence
anus.
against women, it's okay to be dirty.
They're like, don't worry. We're just talking about beating your wife. Oh, God.
Great values, old-time values.
Yeah. So this show is very problematic. I love it because there's the most recent revival, incredible choreography. I cannot believe it didn't win. If you have a spare 10 minutes, go watch Too Darn Hot. There's actually a breakdown that the choreographer, who unfortunately isn't related to Kitty Carlisle Hart, which I wanted him to be, but it's just Warren Carlisle.
I thought you were going to say his name was like Warren Carlisle Hart.
Harton. Yeah, that would be remarkable. He does an incredible breakdown of Too Darn Hot where he talks about, he basically narrates it and he's like, okay, this is they're melting like wax. And then he's responding to this and talking to the clarinet player. It's fascinating. Love it. Couldn't recommend it more highly. He said he'd made Too Darn Hot was 10 minutes long. Corbin Bleu of fucking American Idol fame, but also like, great, you tap, that's cool. He has Corbin Bleu, who's the part of Bill, which is Bianca's love interest, comes on stage. Heretofore, he's not in the show for like 45 minutes. That Bill track sounds like the best track. You just fucking kick it backstage. But he comes on in this Too Darn Hot, and he hoofs, and then he actually taught the James T. Lane, who's the soloist in Too Darn Hot, and also the dresser. There's a lot of problematic shit with race in this show too that I really don't want to get into right now because fuck this country. But the guy who is the black dresser who sings Too Darn Hot, James T. Lane, he had never tapped, and the choreographer was like, how about we do a shout out to the Nicholas Brothers? And he did a full like Nicholas Brothers routine, so the guy had to learn how to tap for this show, and he's
what?
Wonderful. Yeah.
He had to learn how to tap for the show, then he goes straight to Nicholas Brothers?
Exactly. It was like, hey, have you never swum before? Great, I need you to be Michael Phelps. Like, it was insane. And he said, so he had a really great thing where he was discussing just choreography and talking about the incredible dancers. The dancing is insane. That was the best part of that show. I said it. She said it. Am I allowed to shit on the living?
No, I'm cutting that out. I'm cutting it out.
The choreographer did say, I loved this. He was talking about, I think dancing is like the Olympics. Each generation gets better and more athletic than the last. And he very much back to our Hermes pan, he said, I like for my dancers to teach me the choreography. I tell them here are the steps, and then they come in with their own style of dancing. So that's great. There's other cool shit.
Sure beats doing the job, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, hey, can you teach me that? Yeah, do you need to dance it? No, I'm going to sit here. No, he's phenomenal. Huge fan of that. Watch that video if you have a minute.
We'll post it on Instagram.
Oh, God, it's really, really good. Okay, please do. So 2019 revival. First, I want to say the 1999 Marin and Stokes, so fucking good. Fucking good.
It was huge, too.
It was enormous. So that was one of the shows that I saw when I was like 11 or something. It came to the city, and I was like, wow.
By the way, Marin Mazie's passed.
I know. Yeah, I knew that. Remember, you don't know that.
But I don't know what you're talking about. I just told you.
I need a minute for that. Ugh, Marin. Also, Kelly O'Hara shades her in what I was listening to some podcasts about, like the newest one, and she was talking about how She was like, oh, I was singing some of the Kiss Me Kate score, and they were like, for the Pops or something before they did the production. And they were like, oh, we know your voice type. We know your voice type. And they had her sing all the like Lois Lane shit and said she was an alto. She was like, they even gave me like Marin's alto key for So in Love. I was like, don't you dare.
Are you kidding? She could belt that up to a high B flat, probably.
Exactly. But her So in Love is unreal. That's a great. I mean, that's great. She did that in the original key. I will say, I love that 1999 production. It's super problematic. There's a super minstrelly performance of that black male dresser that's very tough to get over. If you insist upon watching the masterclass thing, prepare yourself for that. It's tough. But
well, you called it out, and that's the right thing to do.
Yeah. But there are some good things about that production for sure. Studio 54, I didn't know was originally a small opera house.
Yes.
Before it was a place that Liza did cocaine at, and then it became a theater. That's where they did this production. When they did this production, they had an updated book because they're like, shit, y'all, if we're going to revive this shit, can we like try and fix it?
Oh, was it a roundabout?
It was roundabout.
Oh.
It was. And Amanda Green, daughter of Adolf, the good one. The good Adolf. The
good
only
Adolf.
good Adolf I know of and Comden fame. And Comden. So Amanda
Actually,
Green.
it's Comden and.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what I have here. I have of Comden and fame. So Amanda Green, Adolf's daughter, had a lot of problems with. There are some great podcasts that she did about this. The lyrics in I've come to wive it wealthily in Padua. If she bit you like a boar, I've off stuck a pig before, which is kind of like again, are people fucking animals? Is that what Cole Porter's all about? Or is it like I'll hit a pig? So she changed it to I've oft bed a pig before. Still pretty bestiality, but okay, Amanda, I see you, girl. The biggest change that she did was I'm ashamed of that women are so simple. She changed it to people are so simple. Therein kind of turning it on like that men would do these like sort of like have to push a woman down. Pretty much in 2019, a lot of people are like, what the fuck's going on? Why are we watching this? Great part of Kiss Me Petruchio, even in the 70s, you watch these people watch this show and they'll like ask husband and wives and she'll be like, why the fuck are we watching this? Like in like the age of Gloria Steinem, why are we allowing this type of theater to take place? This is insane. And her husband would be like, I hope she gets some ideas. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Beat my wife into submission. The 70s, brought to you by America. Being awful.
Well, brought to you by Shakespeare.
Yeah. So before that, Padua. Before that, awful. So she was asked if she, so she changed it to People Are So Simple. Also, Paul Gemignani, love. Love. Okay, so he had a huge
and
thing.
Alex Gemignani.
And Alex, we love him. We'll take them both. Take that combo deal any day. Changed the key. He dropped it a fourth, so it was in her speaking voice. And she actually said, Kelly O'Hara said, I don't sing in my person's voice throughout the rest of this show. So God, I have so much stuff that I won't even do justice to, but I can post like fun little screenshots about, I had some really nerd shit. Like, as you can see here, Cole put this in B flat, and then the chromatic scale that went up to show that this is Padua versus whatever. I read the densest book ever that I was like, oh, I want to hear about dick parties again.
Yeah. First of all, Cole Porter's music was never sophisticated enough to have things like chromatic scale equals Padua.
Yeah, it was just like, I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, it was saying shit that it was like so darky, like dark, sad tones, or like this, and then So in Love.
Well, he does do a lot of minor key stuff.
Yes, he does a lot of minor, and So in Love is an unreal song. I fucking love that song.
And I Hate Men.
I Hate Men, for sure.
And Night and Day.
Yeah, stay in the show. Stay in the fucking show, Will. Night and Day's not in there.
Yeah, but it's Cole Porter.
This is a cool story about Paul Gemignani from a fun little podcast that I listened to of Kelly O'Hara. She said she'll never forget. She slammed her fingers in the door one night, like she was slamming, like doing the show, slammed it, and she like makes dead eye to fucking like Will Chase. And she's like, okay, so here's now Kelly O'Hara. She says, the show stops. I say, I need help. So Will Chase like releases her from the door, figures it out. And so there's that moment where she's like, ah! And she's like, I didn't know what to do. So I just turned around and I started to sing. And she was like, I went to sing. She was like, it wasn't the second note that he came on. Like it was right on it. The moment that I began to sing, like almost telepathically. She was like, he's a hawk. She's like, the audience just erupted into applause because they couldn't believe that like the show went from like, that's live theater, folks, to like just incredibly right back into it. And they said also, fun fact is that he watches the fight call each night. He likes to come and just be like, hey, kind of want to watch like what's going on the stage, like all these things that he doesn't have to do. So we love him. Let's see. So in Love is back to the original key for this production. I would say check that shit out. There's a lot
of low stuff in that show. It sounded like for Bianca.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Also, we asked Ashley Blanchett to sing that. So if we can have like fun little tidbits. She's like, do people sing on your show? I was like, people by like me sometimes. Or I start to sing and Kevin will be like, wrong song, Caitlin, here's the meter.
here's the problem with us singing stuff. The episode of Ragtime where you sing We Can Never Go Back to Before was flagged by YouTube for containing content by copyright from someone else.
Oh my God. All right. Well,
isn't that amazing that their technology can hear you singing a song and know it's the same music as something else?
Yeah, that is.
Usually I can't recognize any songs that you sing.
Oh, here's all my shit about... Oh, God. Brush Up Your Shakespeare has just great lyrics.
Okay,
too.
I will say Cole Porter is great and all, but I could deal with maybe 2 fewer instances where he makes up a word to rhyme
like
with
Araby, like when she goes to Araby, it's
I would
like
just
say Araby,
them.
Or something. Yeah, I would say that too. Don't worry. I'm not like I get it when it's in the vernacular of like, okay, you're doing the gangsters. Like here's an example of one like. Better mention the Merchant of Venice when her sweet pound of flesh you would menace. Okay, Queen. In her virtue at first she defends well. Just remember, all's well, dead ends well. That one's actually a bad choice. Sorry.
That's a bad choice.
It's a bad choice. Fix this in post. Says your behavior is heinous. Kick her right in the Coriolanus. Yeah, there's one that really drives me nuts about Araby.
Araby drove me nuts too.
It's like just he did so many. He was super famous for doing the interior rhymes. But like, oh wait, I just found a really great quote. I'm really glad I want to say. Okay, because I'm at the end of Cole Porter's life now. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, okay, like I get it, and he did the meter, and that was because the way that he would write is he would be like, write the songs, and then he'd be like, ooh, I like this little tinkly twinkly, and he's like, what words would go with that? To the point that sometimes he'd call friends at 2 a.m. and be like, hey, like Siberia. He did this in his song about Siberia in, I think, Can or Silk Stockings, and it was something about like he was so rich that he had only known like Siberia to be this lovely place because he had heard about it from czars, and people were like, no, you can't write a song about it being lovely. And so there was something about like he wanted something with the palace. I'll put it in correction corner. But that's just so funny to me that you would get a call and just be like, hey, it's Cole. What rhymes with Siberia? And you're like, God damn it, Cole, it's 2 a.m.
Get a damn rhyming dictionary, you queen.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so it was a big hit, huge success, ran forever, ever. Ooh, one thing I wanted to talk about, the 1999 revival. It ran for 2 years. And really cool story about this is it ran through 9/11. And after 9/11, when everything closed, the whole cast and everybody took a 25% pay cut, and then they took another 25% pay cut to buy blocks of seats for charities. This included producers. This isn't just like actors giving up their money. So that like blocks of, New Yorkers could come see shows and as theater opened back up, and that got them through the Christmas season, and then they ran for another year after that. Okay, so to make it linear, Cole had to die at some point, don't we all? So end of his life, he died, these are quotes from Caitlin, kind of alone and sad face. He used to like be shepherded to the theater. He would have these like stocky guys sling him over their shoulders like firemen and just like be like, all right, Cole. And so he would like go to the theater a lot. It became his mother died right around Kiss Me Kate. Linda, his wife, died. It was kind of like free for a while, even though he was free to do whatever. So it was really just like his companion died. He got really depressed. He was an alcoholic. He was pretty much addicted to morphine. He was constantly, Linda was also like extremely ill throughout her entire life, constantly, which is just crazy. Like you could be crazy rich and shit. It was still really fucking tough to live back then, I guess. So somebody said, like, not saying that Linda made Cole Porter, but she was the wind that made the sails move of both of them. So when she died, it was kind of like he stalled. And then he started to ice out his friends. Like when he got really ill, he went in for a surgery. The way that he ultimately died, he went in for a surgery, and he would get the shakes because he was an alcoholic, and so he actually didn't wake up from the surgery. And they're saying, like, if only the doctor that was operating on him or whatever had known, they could have just given him a little bit of alcohol. He's probably going through withdrawal, and he would have made it through. He was in and out of the hospital. He wasn't doing great. And and he was apparently just like a salty bitch to people. Like he snubbed a lot of people in his will. And he had a friend asked him, isn't there something you can think of that you would miss Cole? Hoping that Cole Porter would be like, yes, you, friend. And Cole said, no. Then he thought about it and he said, wait, there is something. And he took a dramatic pause and he said, my pair of Queen Anne chairs. So he was just like a bitch. Like, that's a bitch-ass thing to do, Cole Porter. Love you, bruh.
He sounds an awful lot like my dad. My dad also lost his ability to walk towards the end of his life and had to be carried around by a giant man because he was a big old homosexual and stopped caring about people. Is this my future?
Will, is Cole Porter your dad? I love Cole Porter. I love the music of this show. I have problems with this show, but that kid's a dick is Kiss Me Kate. I'm so glad to take a dick out of my head now.
Anyway, I'm Will Larsh.
And I'm Caitlin Lee Reed, reminding you that existence
is futile. Bye!
Bye!
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, YouTube, and Instagram. And write to us at sundayintheheightswithdolly@gmail.com.